Unfortunately, I'm gonna be the hater on this card. I honestly, I do hate cards like these.
80% of the people were playing the same freaking deck.
Welcome to WWB Ward Wide Broadcast. This is episode 48, and we got the trio, the boys. We got Tyler, got Billy. We're all here, and there's tons of news to go over for this week.
Oh yeah.
First, starting off, I just want to cover promos. I mean, I've been dying to talk about them, and I'm sure you guys want to kind of talk about them too. They released the Gen 3 promos, so I thought we would start there for this week, dive right into it. So we'll go around. What's everyone's thoughts on the promos, and what maybe what's your strongest promo you think, and what's like your weakest promo for you, like each of us.
You can start if you want, Billy.
Yeah, well, let me pull it up and look at them. My first thought about the promo is that straight bangers. All of them are sick and playable, which is really fun. Not saying that the other ones weren't, but I mean, in general, like every time they've released a set of promos, like one or two are playable, and the others are just like the collectible, either for fun or you like the art. These, all the art is good, all the cards are good, and I'm excited to play with all five of them. So, and they're playable in different regards, right? So, like, you got one that's like playable in a full moon deck, and then you got Sweet Tooth, which is basically playable in any deck. So, okay. Question was my thoughts, and then what do I think the strongest is?
Yeah, real quick, I just want to. I'm gonna be the guy to tangent off of, even though I'm supposed to keep us on track here. But
like
real quick,
what do you
What do you feel about the names? Do you feel like the name improvement from other promos? Like, how do you feel like? Do you feel like these they're a little more catchy name, or like they kind of stick out more? Like, are you gonna remember these? Like, I don't know. Part of me, like you said, like Sweet Tooth and like Helen and Steve. I feel like some of these names are definitely gonna be like stick with you, if you know what I mean. Like Cryo. I mean, you're probably not gonna say Cryo Core or whatever that bug's name is. But you're probably going to say like Cryo for that card. You know what I mean? I feel like these have like really catchy names that I feel like people are really going to be excited to like try and use. Not that the other ones didn't, but there was cards like Lord Marshall or like these things where I feel like they didn't really have like catchy little like names to them. I don't know. For me, I kind of like the new naming stuff that they're doing with these promos.
Well, they've always given the promos like distinct names, unlike like the cards. Giant spider, raccoon, penguin. You know what I mean? These actually have like names to them, so I like that a lot. Be happy to see that in like the regular set, but if they want to keep it in the promos, I guess that's what it's for. But yeah, I like the names a lot.
How about you, Tyler? Do you like the names for these promo cards?
Yeah, they're good. I do like the new cards. They all look pretty fun. I'm excited to try them and play them and see how they work with all the cards in Gen 3 and yeah.
Right. Okay, well let's start with Billy then, like you said. All right, Billy. Which ones do you think which one's the strongest and which one's the weakest? Let's just shoot there. What card are you looking to play with, and what card are you kind of like, eh?
I honestly, I can make a deck that fits all of these cards. Not like all of them in one deck. I mean, like there are several decks that I play, and I can see all of these fitting into one of those decks. I think the strongest. I kind of have a double answer for this one. I think straight power. I think Helen and Steve is the strongest. Um, I think its damage output, and then also its ability to just get better with the equips you can put on it.
For being, both attacks. I mean, I guess the one thing about it though that I would say maybe just is like being an AL12. Like, you think for being an AL12, like it's a pretty strong card, or does it like kind of compete with other AL12 cards, or?
Yeah, it's got a built-in double hit, and the only other creature that has that is the Mythic for Gen 3. So I think it's pretty good. And then also if you put, which is just true but double hit, and the mythic Cabal War Chief. If I put like a legendary armor on Helen and Steve, I guess armor's maybe not a good choice. If I put a celestial power on Helen and Steve, both slash and jump strike get the +8. So now I'm hitting for 2+11 and 3+12.
Right.
That rocks, and I only had to use one equip for that.
Mm-hmm.
So the total damage output of that is 5 plus 23. That's pretty sick.
So when
So
you
I
were
think
saying you
that
like two cards, were you just saying you like Helena and Steve, or is there another card that you're also?
oh, funny. I was also gonna say Sweet Tooth. I know it's
Ooh.
probably the most boring out of the five.
Mm,
However, it is literally the strongest AL6 in the game,
I was about to
and
say,
I
yeah.
think it can fit in any deck. I don't. There's not a deck where you would say, "Nah, I don't need this card." Like if you're putting an AL6 and you just need a beater, why wouldn't it be Sweet Tooth?
Right. Yeah, it is hard to say. I mean, with the stats they gave Sweet Tooth, it's like you have 12 speed. You got the 4+4 dice just as its standard hit. Like I don't know. I don't think there's much that you can really say compares to that when it comes to AL6 creatures. That it's like, okay, I don't want to commit way too much to a card, but it basically it fits the place of a lot of the other just like kind of vanilla generic creatures. And to be honest, it's a pretty unique arc or type of creature too, where it's like it doesn't really have like too many inherent weaknesses to it. He's not. It's not in water. It's not. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of cards that like have ways to like
But is it
sometimes
in a
like
forest?
yeah, right, exactly. Not in a forest,
It
so
might.
it's like
Is it? I
debatable.
think it's in the forest. Look at the pink background by his feet.
Oh my! All right, we'll debate. We'll
All right,
debate it.
so
Yeah,
now
it'll
Alvarine coming for Sweet Tooth.
it'll be debated, but you know what I mean. I think that he might escape that, but we'll see the extended card text, right, Billy? Because I'm sure that'll tell him what kind of what kind of background they're in for sure.
Yeah, that's a forest dog.
But all
I'm
right,
calling.
here, all right, fire off. Which one would you say is not really something you're looking to play though, or maybe you don't really have your eye on for those five?
Uh, I mean, it's kind of hard because I like them all. So if you made me pick, I'd probably pick Chavolk or Gavolk or however you say it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play Full Moon a lot, so I'd have to make a I have a Full Moon deck, but it's for AJ. So I'd be making a Full Moon deck from the ground up, which honestly is probably going to be good. There's new worse creatures in Gen 3, so maybe it's a good idea.
Gotcha. All right, Tyler. What's your good and what's your not so playable card promo out of them?
Well, I guess I'll bring up the other two that Billy haven't mentioned. I've seen a lot of people talk about like the Arcturus. Is that how
Mm.
you pronounce it?
Yeah, Arcturus.
Should be pretty good. I think that card's gonna have a lot of weird ruling, kind of like Steam Rex. So we'll see how that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it'll be pretty good. And then for like cards that I don't think good, this is probably something that Harry doesn't want me to say, but I don't really think that worm is that good. Like 10 is good, and I think I was talking about it with Adam the other day, and it's kind of funny because there's certain matchups that with the worm you basically just guarantee win. You play Scarlet against the worm will win every single time because the max damage that Scarlet, even if you couldn't, or no, because you can, his ability works as you add 10 damage to your damage,
To
right?
the hit, yeah. So you
Yeah,
still have
so
to
you
hit
still
with
need
them.
to hit, but
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet literally does max 10 damage unless she crits, and you heal 10 damage no matter what every turn. So that means it doesn't really matter. You could just sit there and keep rolling forever. You'll win eventually, as long as nothing else interacts with that. Which is kind of funny because there's just certain creatures that would also happen, or you would be able to limit their attack dice to make it so that they just don't do enough damage. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden agreeing with this card, but I don't know.
Hey,
I
I'll
just
pick
think
up
it's
right where
I
you're
think it's a
ending
little
because
weaker.
I'll pick up right
Yeah, I
where
think
you're
it's a
ending,
little
Tyler.
weaker, but
If you want to hear my take, I agree with you,
yeah,
or at least with the take you're giving. I think the worm. If you look at the game of Ward, if you're ever looking at like okay, how like if it ever gets to the end of the game, I think this card wins like 100% of the time. this worm card. I mean, again, there are strong things. There's like the creator, or like, it depends on what the matchup is. But I would say for most times it's like healing for 10 HP is like quite a big thing if you're not attacking with it, and then also just doing that extra 10 damage, I think starts to add up quite a bit with the 2+ dice. Like it's still a pretty fat damage hitting ability.
I need to see the wording.
So again, and
Sure.
the fact that it only takes 1 sack, I think it makes it way more reliable of a card. So like in my opinion, I'm really looking forward to finding ways to use this worm, because like I don't know, I think something about it, it's just pulling me towards it. And yeah, there might be some of these guys might be a little stronger, or have a little bit more of like a niche that in the game that they need, and yeah. I know you're showing it. I actually have a little image of all of them pulled up, so people get to look at all of them while we're talking.
Yeah, the actual clear. One interesting thing I just thought of is I don't know. There's probably a way to like double hit with it. It says on this card's turn, it may add 10 HP to the end of its attack or heal itself 10 HP.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you have double hit, if you're able to do that twice. I mean, obviously that improves it a little bit.
I think so.
Because it's like you're doing you're starting 2 combats or 2 battles, or like
Yeah,
so it's like,
exactly.
Yeah, I would
So
think
it is 2 attacks.
In that train of thought, I'm sure you could make it a little bit more crazy, which could help.
Mm-hmm. I just think in Gen 2 is what, or sorry, not Gen 2, Gen 3, I think there's a lot of burn cards, and I think just having this guy sit there and it's like, okay, hit me with your burn, I'm just going to sit and stall and heal back all that damage if I don't attack, right? It's like I can just he's kind of a fat wall, and I'm starting to see why Tommy kind of built it, because I'm pretty sure Tommy's also the one who made Giant Turtle, so he's always liking these creatures where they just somehow have these like weird sustainability kind of effects on them that just like make them annoying.
The other interesting thing is that if you play Blood of the Bat, you be guaranteed deal like 20 damage, not 20 damage, but you get like 20 damage worth of healing off the Blood of the Bat for free.
Right. Yeah, because it goes towards the damage he deals. No, exactly. Yeah. I like that too. No. And if I was to talk, again, that's what I'm looking at. The worm, I don't know, something about just like monster creature stuff definitely catches my eyes more than humanoids and those kind of creatures. I would say I like the unique design, especially like Fabricio. I don't know where he went with this art, how he came to make this worm, but I think it's pretty awesome. Like he said, it's like like, oh, the game needed a worm, and now we got the worm.
I do have a question for both of you. I mean, obviously they've kind of had over the course of the game so far, this is kind of their 3rd set of promos, and they kind of like the idea of having like each promo being tied to a certain creator of the game. Oh, 4?
Well, boss battle promos, if you ask those ones.
Oh, yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Well,
with the generations.
Actually wasn't counting those leading into this question on purpose. What do you think of the lack of Magic promos aside from that one time so far? Because they obviously have a little bit of a formula, and they, when a set comes out, they've been doing one promo per thing. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing a Magic card every now and then, but.
Well, I actually think it's interesting. I think the set really shows it. Not shows it, but like you said, like creatures like Sweet Tooth. It's like I think it's cool that they're making these like really unique creatures, but unfortunately, I think they do tend to, unless you make them. I guess I made a statement on a past episode of WWB where I was saying, I think what they should do with promos is make them have like fun little unique abilities to them. I don't think they should really try to make the promos the most strongest cards in the game, because I think inherently that does feel bad for when it's like, okay, certainly not everybody will get access to these promos. Not everybody will have these promos. And so I do really think that what the promo should be is like kind of like fun, cool ways that could like build fun, goofy decks. Like I look at cards like God Killer Brox, right? It's like you can build a cool, fun deck with God Killer Brox, but it's not like you have to put him in every deck. But as you can see right here, we're getting cards like Sweet Tooth, where Billy kind of made the argument. It's like you could put Sweet Tooth in almost every deck. And it's like, this is where I start to get a little worried when it's like, like with promos, if we're just making them stronger versions of other cards, it's like, I don't really want us to go down that path. I would rather have it be, like you're saying, Tyler, why not make 5 unique spell cards? Because those things can always be kind of like put into their own little box, if you know what I mean. It's a spell card. And it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I would.
That is That is the hard part because it does lead into the fact that you can only run one copy of the card, and I think a card that you can only run one copy of, it needs to be better than every other card, because otherwise, why would I run it? If I could run a
Right.
card that's 80% of the promo, but I can run three of that
Right.
cards, like that's gonna be more value to me at the
Well,
end of the day.
and I think that's kind of what I'm kind of getting at is that I think they actually should pivot to making promo spell cards instead of creatures because I think, like you said, that gives them the ability to almost make it into this new box of how we can make these cards as powerful as like the limited cards that exist in the game, but they don't take the place of other cards, if you get what I mean. Where it's like Sweet Tooth
Yeah,
takes the place of another creature that you would put in your deck, and I just think at some point you're gonna get a point where there's enough promo cards if they keep doing the just creatures only, where you're gonna have four versions of Sweet Tooth or whatever a stronger version than other cards that are normally in the generations. Where it's like, why wouldn't I just run all the promo cards, instead of running actual the generation cards that I think should, in theory, kind of be played more. Like I said, I don't want promo cards to be like not everyone will get these cards and they're also the best cards. I don't want that
yeah,
world, I guess, in my opinion. What's your thought with it,
yeah,
Billy?
makes sense.
Um,
The original question was,
self.
should
Yeah,
they
I had a
pivot?
original
Yeah,
question.
should they have more spell cards for promo cards?
Selfishly, I want full art spell cards. There are zero in the game, but I don't. I actually think they should stick to the creatures, because a creatures in Ward are inherently less valuable than spell cards, and if we're trying to make sure that the game remains somewhat balanced, where you don't have to have the promo cards, making them overpowered, if you might say. Um, Spell cards is certainly a way to do it, because they're more valuable. They can use that anytime. There's no requirements. It's just they fit almost anywhere. Whereas like creature cards, you have to balance your cemetery HP. You have to make sure you have the sacks. Whatever. Um, so I'm fine with it. Also, if you're playing singleton, you only need one, and it's fine. Uh, and promo cards should just be good cards, but not ridiculous cards. And a good way to do that is make a good, fun creature. Um,
See,
and
Billy, can I push
as
back?
you
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Can I push back on that a little bit? Okay, let's just take a card like
sure,
that, a promo card that does exist. That's a spell card, Maximum Ward. I think if they make cards like Maximum Ward, or it's kind of have like crazy abilities, but they are kind of gated by some mechanics, I think those should be what promo cards look like. And so it's like, I don't know. You get what I mean? Where it's not like, again, I don't want them to be Holy Light. I don't want a promo Holy Light card or a promo Revival Priest or, those kind of cards, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like I think they actually did a really good job with, if we are to
Yeah,
talk about the Magic Legendary or Magic promo cards that do already exist in the game from the boss promos. It's like I think they kind of nailed the formula, and I think they would do a good job with spells. But anyway, sorry, continue. I apologize.
kind of. I mean, Ward United is probably going to be a staple coming here very soon, with AL12s being coming to the thing. I mean, so much so, Biodinos whole effect is Ward United. The whole reason Biodinos is a legendary is because Ward United is built into his effect, which would then lead me to believe that I can have Ward United with any card if I just have Ward United. So if you ask me what's the best promo card, it's Ward United. So
yeah, I
But
think
that's
that's
fair.
agreeable.
But again, it's like,
it like
do you want a card gated behind promos like Ward United? Should that be?
Yeah, but that's the interesting thing about cards like that, and something that we brought up before. It's a field card. If someone's playing this card, they're not the only ones benefiting from it.
Right.
I also get to
that's
benefit
true.
from it. So it's
That's
like
true.
not like it's just, oh, this person has this promo. They just got to take 18 cards out of their cemetery and now they win the game. It's like, no, they played this card, and even though they get this cool beneficial thing, I also can benefit from it. And yeah, it'll probably be more of a niche thing where it's, yeah, they probably put it in their deck and built their deck around doing that. But it also is something that I can potentially benefit
Yeah.
from.
No, I'm.
Yeah,
And
I
Yeah.
agree.
sometimes, like you could, yeah, like I could build a Ward United deck, and then I could, end up that my opponent could use it better than I do, which shouldn't happen, but it could happen, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's fair.
Yeah, I guess my argument is that creatures. Magic is way more versatile. Spell cards, whatever, are way more versatile than creatures. So you don't want to give a promo card if you're worried about gating promo cards. You don't want to give the most versatile card in the game out as a promo. Creatures are better.
Hmm. That's fair.
One of
Um
the one of I have a unique observation kind of going in with the whole the worm and Scarlet thing. If you put, I mean, whatever, would you guys say that Scarlet is like probably the strongest promo before this?
before which promo? Just these
These
promos?
these new ones
Um, hmm.
in terms of creatures.
Creatures, yeah.
I would say
Yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of funny because if you do every creature 1v1, the worm gets rated higher than her somehow. It's like
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think the worm is. I think the worm is sneaky good because any card that lets you have options is really good. You can just kind of like you can just heal, 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 and then when it's time for the kill shot, add 10 damage.
Hmm.
yeah,
And
yeah. I mean that's the best part of any card, or like what makes a card good is versatility and the ability to use an effect in multiple different ways and having options, right?
well, like you said, it's like well, Helen and Steve, like they both, in theory, you get two attacks on Scarlet, so it's like she, in theory, would probably have better odds of even hitting. Or I guess if you do the Adam train of thought, it's the same odds, but you're still getting to do more than one attack a turn. So you're doing more and more attacks. It's like eventually you should, in
Yeah,
theory,
just
roll.
and if you don't auto hit Scarlet, you never hit Scarlet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the rule to never forget.
That's the rule, unspoken.
That's fair.
If you need to roll for Scarlet, you already lost.
But yeah, but I think again, like if you just look at like power of creatures, it's like obviously, yeah, I mean, there's AL6 creatures here that it's like, yeah, like Scarlet dies to an ignite, like they don't, none of these creatures die to an
Hey,
ignite or
no,
die
no,
to
no. Yeah,
something.
no, 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 no. 1v1, no
Alright.
cards,
I get
no
your
interruptions.
premise, but I just think like when it comes to like utilizing these things, it's like, well, the worm still needs a sack to bring out, so it's like I'm not saying it's like perfect because obviously if you bounce it, you're forcing your opponent to, have to bring it back out some way, or if they run out of creatures, you can't bring it out, you can lose that way. So it's like I don't know. I think where you sit is like Sweet Tooth, pretty good spot. AL12s are kind of nice because you can kind of make them like your end game boss. Um, but yeah, if I was just to kind of like wrap up the whole promo conversation for now, or like with the Gen 3 is in I didn't really say my card I'm not really looking forward to, but I would say it is probably, I don't know, the Arctus or whatever. He doesn't really appeal to me, and I really think in just Gen 3 only, I think a lot of the damage is, a lot of cards are just built into like doing damage like with attacks. So I think he is honestly not going to be very strong in just Gen 3. I think of cards like Cybernetic Enhancement, cards like Ancient Book, like I think these big like hitting cards are like just not really, he's not like he's like has ways to like deal with it. So I think if you like just look at Gen 3 only with the promos, it's like I don't think he's going to do so well when it comes to like if, when initially when you're just playing it as like the set is like the complete set, if that makes sense.
No, because Arcturus, if you play Cybernetic Enhancement against Arcturus, it just straight up doesn't work because it's not the base
Yeah, the
AL
only
modifier.
base. It's only it's all. It's basically like all in one. It's just like,
Okay,
oh
fair
yeah,
Yeah,
you
enough.
get
Oh,
those
okay,
stats.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was
You
thinking
don't.
for some
You
it
reason
don't.
negates all
for
those.
some reason I was
Yeah,
thinking it
if
was
you
like, okay, yeah, you get to add all the attack. Okay, well then maybe
no,
you're
if you
right.
get
Maybe he
any
is.
additional dice or anything like that, it just doesn't count. It's like, so if I have like a creature, my favorite card. If I'm playing Maniac and I play all in one, well, guess what? I still have a three. It's still 3-0 against you,
Right.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's
And
actually
I
it's
guess we'll have to see the ruling, but I don't know.
Yeah, how they
That
rule
is
it.
one thing that with when Alec Hermit brought up, like, oh, all these abilities also possible. I don't like the idea of that. I just think it becomes an extreme headache. Like, is an assassin's ability really affecting its base like dice rolls? Not really, but I guess we'll have to see how they rule it before we can make any
Right.
hard decisions about it.
I mean either way, it kind of makes if you're playing with Arcturus, it makes part of when you're playing Ward is you're calculating how many turns is this card going to last, and then usually there's a surprise or two from your opponent. Arcturus kind of takes away the surprises because now, if my opponent has a 4/5 and I have 70 health and we're doing, I don't know, 21 damage a turn. Is he 70 health? I think
Yeah, I
he's
think
70
he's
health. Yeah, it's
70 health.
21 damage a turn. I'm going to last 4 attacks if he hits me every time, right?
Hmm.
Because I know he's going to do an average of 21 damage. So he's not going to add any big cards. He's not going to cybernetic upgrade. He can't do it. So it makes it very predictable, which is also very good.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So I guess my argument doesn't work very well.
Well, the other interesting thing is just like wording. It says this card can only be damaged by the attacking creature's base attack and modifier. Does that mean you can't use spell cards on it?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Maybe
What it just
if
says
that's
this
it.
card can only be damaged by the attacking creature's base attack and modifier. So that
That's
reads to
the
me
that's the
like it
assassin
basically.
question.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I mean things like Ignitima. Can you use Ignitima on it? Doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it's kind of like Swamp Dragon, where it's this creature can only be damaged in combat. This creature can
Yeah,
only be damaged by base attack dice and modifier.
kind of like
Uh,
it's a little better than Swamp Dragon, but you can only have one of them. Swamp Dragon, you have
yeah,
three, and they're
it's interesting.
extremely close on stats. Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just interesting when you see creatures like creator, just the base creatures, they're gonna not struggle against this promo very much. It's the creatures that are made stronger by damaging effects or things like that that are gonna struggle against this creature because it's like they lose
yep.
almost half of their value in their card because it's like, oh, this thing that yeah, it'll be interesting to see if assassin counts. Like I don't know if that's like what they are meaning behind it, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, like you said,
We'll
if
see.
it's based into the base stats, it's like okay, like yeah. I guess the that's gonna be one of those problematic cards where I'm sure the rulings are just gonna be crazy. But like you said, it's like we go from like Doran the Bull, and we go from Lord Marshall, and then we go from like
Here, one sec. I'm gonna be gone for a second. I'm setting up the stream. Adam's yelling at me.
okay, no, you're
Adam.
good. Um, but you know what I mean. It's just those cards. The promos from like Gen 1 and Gen 2. It's like a lot of them were just like you have Artist Gorath or whatever the little like 1/5 or 5/5
Toroth.
10, yeah, and then you have you know what I mean. I'm just saying it's like the promo like evolution. It feels like they're definitely starting to like give them more of like a place. You know what I mean? Like I mean, if we just look at I'm gonna butcher his name too. The what do you call it? The werewolf, the full moon guy. He's I'm not.
Little Bolt.
Yeah, there you go. He's kind of like I would say he's like the full moon boss monster, like boss creature now. You know what I mean? It's just like he kind of has like his obviously his own little niche, and it really needs to be respected, and like definitely one of those things where it's like I'm not going to use this in a deck that isn't a full moon, right? It's like he's going to be in the full moon deck. It's like that's the kind of thing. Like Helen and Steve are definitely going to be in decks where it's like you said, where you get double hit, backstab, things that allow your creature to get more value out of 2 hits. And so it's like I don't know. I think they're definitely getting pretty unique with these promo cards. But
I
I
do
am
want to
still.
say real quick,
Oh yep.
uh, the way that the promo cards are formatted, they look fantastic. They
Yeah,
borrow a little bit of the Gen 3 frame because you could see like the oblong rhombus still is within the attack name, and you got the 4 dice plus 2 modifier, but it's all sort of like a little bit transparent. So you still very much get the entire art, which, hello, yes, we all love Fabricio and his art. But I can also read all the card too. I can read what I need to read. It's got outlined on the text. I can read the attack. I can read the effect. I can read, the name, and they're in funny, bright colors that match the card. I like that a lot. And then
Hmm.
also, um, except for Sweet Tooth, all of them have something new to the game. They're all new effects. Um,
Yeah.
Cryovore can either add damage or heal damage. That's no other card has that. Chovolk has a summoning requirement based off of a field card. No other card has that. Arcturus is very close to Swamp Dragon, but it is different in that it's only base and modifier. That's not in the game. Helen Steve, first double type, first double attack. Well, actually, that's not true. Nadara had a double. No, it has a either or. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have a both and.
Both,
So
yeah.
this is the first double attack, first double creature type. And Sweet Tooth is just there. So
Yeah, but again, it's for a generic or not generic. I shouldn't say generic for just a vanilla or I don't know what term we're gonna use, but no effect creature. It's definitely
no,
really
it's the best
strong.
vanilla AL6. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. I
hands
agree.
down for now. Yeah, no, like I said, very strong cast of promo cards for sure, and I think as we move forward in Ward history, it seems like that'll probably kind of how it keeps evolving is like they're either gonna have some very unique aspect to them with effects or whatever, or it's just gonna be probably a stronger vanilla creature that it's like you're only gonna have one copy though you can't have multiple copies of, and so yeah, with that, I think kind of our takes on Gen 3. I mean, if people want to talk about in the comments which creatures or what promo card is there, they're looking forward to playing, and then what promo card they're maybe not so looking forward to playing or playing against. Maybe I mean that would definitely be something fun to post in the comments down below, and we could definitely have a discussion about those new promo cards. But either way, like you said, I think Fabricio's art is just outstanding on these cards. Like this is
Top
like,
notch.
oh my goodness, I love it.
I've
I,
got to say, I've got to say that I think the best decision that Ward has ever made in the entire card game is hiring Fabricio. He has killed it with every single like instance of art he's put out. Just like new cards, promo cards, uh, advertisement, poster, everything just hits every single
right.
time.
I agree. Um, and like I said, I think it's awesome just to kind of see how he's just going to keep evolving and growing that Ward image and everything. And I think he's doing an amazing job with it. But we are going to move on to another topic. There was a tournament that did happen over the
Woo!
last weekend. It was the Curious Crow Crack Pack, potentially one of the last starter Crack Pack tournaments that's going to exist in Ward. Knowing now that they're not doing the 35 card starter pack, so it is kind of an interesting event that we might have to document as the last Crack Pack with starter packs. But with that, I meant me and Billy, we both competed in it. Billy, I'm sure you want to give me a little bit of your rundown of where you went. I'm definitely going to cover at least the games that I played with the people, and it was a pretty good turnout. I mean, overall, I think we had what, like
16.
16 people all in total.
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely a little community of people that go to the Curious Crow. So it was definitely a good time, and definitely a couple new faces. And I'm definitely going to shout out the ones that I played against and met. But Billy, do you want to maybe go first with how your experience at the Curious Crow tournament went?
Yeah, sure. So Curious Crow Crack Pack, it was buy a starter, that's your entry fee. And then you open it and play with it. Take out 5 cards. My first game, I played against Casey. I got the worst. I picked Gen 1. You can pick Gen 1 or Gen 2. I picked Gen 1. I got, I think, the worst starter pack I have ever opened in my entire life. 8 rares, and none of them were useful. My best card was Ogre, which is fine and dandy, but it can't be my best card. So that just doesn't help. So of course Casey smoked me, and the way that they're running the crack pack started 0-1 is that every time you lose, you're allowed to buy another starter pack and completely replace your starter pack. So
Only if you
like
lose, though.
only if I lost. So I lost my first game, and then I gave my pack. I said, found some kid. I'm like, here you go, enjoy. I didn't, and then I went and bought another starter, and then it didn't. It had certainly better cards, but only one epic. But you know what? That's all you need sometimes. So I ran with that, went 3-1, and had a pretty good time. Faced I think I played against Casey. I played against Aiden. I played against Lorne, and I played against gosh, who was my last person I played against? Eric. I played against Eric. Yeah. So the way that they did it was modified Swiss, so that they just randomly picked your partners every single time, and then final results were determined by first your how many wins and losses you got, and then from there, if there's a tie, um, they go by strength of record. So they see who you beat and how well that your opponents that you beat did, and then whoever beat the opponents with better records was tiered higher than the other people. So there's actually a 6-way tie for second. There was 6 people who went 3-1. Um, it turned out I got second. I had the better record of the 3-1s.
Yeah, because it's
And
kind of
then
based over just the people you've played, and if you've beaten people that are higher up in the rankings, that just is how they decide if there's kind of a tiebreaker of who kind of gets to go higher up.
well, not in rankings, just based on that tournament. So
Well,
like
yeah, that tournament side, but
yeah, so they tallied your opponent's wins, and then whoever had the most opponent wins of they beat.
so in theory, I guess the
Got
best
higher
way to explain
tier.
it is like if Billy beat someone else who went 3-1, Billy's probably the strongest 3-1 player because most of the other people probably didn't beat somebody who was also 3-1, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
Billy did end up getting
but
second. Great job,
yeah, but
Billy.
that leaves first place, which was
Yep.
Harry.
All right,
Congratulations.
and we'll move over to first place. But first, I mean, let's just talk about how we got there. I mean, it was kind of a crazy. I was also like Billy. I went down the Gen 1 train. My train of thought of uh, taking Gen 1 over Gen 2 was there's cards in Gen 1 that are at the rare level. They're dragons, and there's a card called Dragon Tamer, which makes it easy to get access to those bigger dragons that you could potentially have as your like boss creature. Otherwise, I'm a pretty big what do you call it? I have some crazy stupid luck of pulling the hero, and Billy can attest to this. When I crack open boxes, I seem to pull a lot of the hero, and so honestly, my plan was like, here, let's find a hero and let's find a way to try to keep him alive and keep him buffed up. Did not hit a hero, did not hit a boss dragon, so unfortunately we didn't have that. But Casey would be proud of me. I did have a Glarbstaford as one of my one of my creatures. I also hit a Basculus. I hit Basculus, and then I hit Necromancer. So I'm sitting there with
That's
a
a good one.
Necromancer when my highest modifier creature that I could special summon had +3 to it. So unfortunately, wasn't the greatest deck. If I'm to be honest, I mean I could have definitely. I didn't have any legendaries, didn't have anything like too crazy. My first match, I went up against a guy named Greg. He's a newcomer. I think this was like his first in-person tournament. But his pack that he cracked had Flame of the Infinite and Revival Priest in it, so it was quite a crazy battle. My pack did have Destruction though, so unlike most times I do crack packs, I don't have any way to deal with Flame of the Infinite or powerful magic cards. I actually had ways to counter it, so I was actually able to beat Greg. But yeah, no, dude, I was like, I wish I had your packs there, sir, because he was definitely packing some heat in that crack pack. And then I went on to Lenrod, which I don't know, Billy, you didn't play Lenrod, but or did
Yeah,
you?
I did.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
he ended up having Steam Golem, which I honestly I think in a crack pack is just kind of insane. And as
goat.
soon as they remaster and they do the buffs for him, I mean, holy moly, I think that card is going to be problematic in crack pack because that thing will take over real fast because you can't really do much to it. But either way, I don't know, he did an interesting play where he sacked it off real early to get out Steam Golem, but then he put a bunch of equips. I think he must have thought that Steam Rex was like the only Steam creature that doesn't have can't be affected by magic cards, so he just loaded up a bunch of equips onto Steam Golem, and then it went to attack me and realized that he equipped it to a Steam Golem, and so yeah, none of those cards worked. As most people in the Discord kind of know how the Steam effects work. But unfortunately, yeah, I was able to beat him, probably mainly just because of that misplay that he kind of did. And he definitely, I'm sure, was kicking himself a little bit from that one. But it was still a fun match. I mean, he still pushed me to the limits because I had, like I said, that's an AL 12 creature, and I only had +3 modifiers, and my Basilisk's effect doesn't work on it. A ton of cards that just don't work on it, so kind of rough. matchup, but we were able to pull it through. And then my third match was against a new player too named Tom Connor, someone who comes to Curious Crow a lot. Brought a Magic friend that he had that was looking to try out Ward, and so he was running a Gen 2 deck as well. I remember he had Electroloon, he had a couple other Bear Wolves. It was just kind of a bunch of littles, but then Electroloon was a sack creature. Unfortunately for him, I was able to roll out of Electroloon's effect like right away, and just kind of was able to kind of keep the momentum and kind of topple Tom. But it was really nice to meet him, and like I said, it's just cool to see that we're still getting, there's a lot of new people that are joining Ward, even in the areas where it feels like we probably have gotten the highest dense population of people playing Ward because of how close they are to where the game has like started. So it was nice to see Tom there. And then another person that I've never played or seen against for my last game was Noah. Noah is someone who in the Discord, he just hit his 150. He's kind of grinding it out. Like he might be one of the last people that can maybe like squeeze in right at the end of the, what do you call it, like the pre-remastered stuff to get into the 150. So yeah, congratulations to you, Noah. But he was at the tournament. He had a pretty crazy deck. We both had Dragon Tamers. I had like Dragonling and Dragon Fox in my deck, so I was like, whatever. You get Dragon Tamer, you're like, it's a magic card, throw it in my deck, can use it. So I'm over here like playing Dragon Tamer turn 1, like showing him like, yeah, I got some dragons, and then he also plays Dragon Tamer turn 1, gets a dragon in his hand, and immediately just goes into an Eternal Dragon, and I was like, oh my gosh. And he's also someone who was 3-1, so it was whoever won our match was gonna be the take first basically, because both of us were 3-0, and so whoever was 4-0 with plus beating one of each other would definitely get to go in. So I was able to pull a Zombified, which I've like never, like, this is such a surprise. Like, I've never used that card ever in tournaments. It's really a card where I feel like a lot of people look at it and they're like, there's just better cards than Zombified. But in the crack pack, when you have an AL12 creature, and like I said, I wasn't able to use that against a Steam Golem, but I'm able to use that against an Eternal Dragon. And so I was able to play the Zombified on his Eternal Dragon, get it down to 0 AL or 1 AL, or I don't even know, whatever the limit of it is. And basically I was able to hit it, 1 AL. Billy's saying all the stats go down to just 1. But either way, was able to keep hitting it every turn and eventually whittled it down with all my creatures. It was kind of one of those things where it's just all the little creatures come together to beat the big scary boss. And so, yeah. But even after his Eternal Dragon went down, he was still putting up a fight, because he also had, speaking of a hero, he had a hero in his deck and he was able to sack for it. And yeah, it was quite a match, but unfortunately I did beat him and took first. And like I said, it was an amazing turnout. For just, like I said, the last crack pack of the year, or of like ever, I guess, for starters. I think it was a pretty fun, and definitely got some footage that I'm gonna probably put up, a little montage that I want to get. But yeah, overall, like I said, even the crack packs, as much as I do push, I like the to kind of build your own decks and bring those to tournaments. I feel like we don't really get a lot of those, especially in the recent days. It's still nice to get out and play crack packs. So yeah, that was just kind of the turnout of the Curious Crow tournament. Billy, do you got anything else for that, or should we?
Didn't Noah get third?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Noah also did take third. So yeah, he did pretty well, and so congratulations to Noah for his first tournament, going 3-1, and yeah, getting third. So those were the three top dogs. But like, as Billy would say, WWB kind of represented. We got to keep show everybody that we stay on top no matter what. No, just kidding. But with that, we'll talk about another WWB thing. We have our tournament, the Jester's Foolish Tricks WWB tournament on Untapped. And for this tournament, I've already gone over the details on some other episodes, but again, just for people, if this is your first time tuning in, it is an online tournament. We all use Untap. It's basically like a little sandbox. All TCGs and CCGs, or at least most of the main ones, I would say, are on there. But Ward has actually just got recently added as one of the, it has its own tab, and kind of it has solidified itself as a official card game that a lot of people recognize. And so we use that as our means to play online. But I'm throwing a tournament on Untapped for WWB, and just to have people play Ward, in a ranked environment online. And so, like I said, if you want to register, if you want to sign up for it, you have to register by the 23rd, Friday the 23rd of January. It's going to be on the 24th, so the day right after. Like I said, it's a double elimination bracket. Basically, if you lose twice, you're out. I'm planning it to be one day. If it ends up being more than one day, it'll probably be only like the semifinals and finals. So just a couple people will probably have to play the next day if we, for some reason, can't finish it all. It's at 3 p.m. on Saturday. But in order to register, the big important information, you have to give me first your Discord name if you're in the Discord and your Untap name, so that I can make sure that all those things, we got all the information properly. And then obviously your full, whatever your name is that you use for the ward rankings, because it does affect your rankings to get to the ward bowl, and everybody wants to get to the ward bowl. So please make sure you put down whatever you use for your ward name that they have in the rankings. You also have to, there's a $15 fee. $5 goes to just running the tournament. $10 goes to the prize pool. So everybody that plays puts money into the prize pool. First gets a big chunk of the prize pool. Second gets a smaller chunk, and then third gets basically their buy-in fee back. And with that, other than that, you have to have a physical picture is another thing. Make sure you send me on the Discord a physical picture of your deck, just for competitive integrity. Just to make sure no one's cheating or anything, people aren't flipping cards in their decks. So I just need to have a physical copy of your cards to play. But other than that, that's basically all that you need. And, I'm hoping for a pretty big turnout. And again, it's just another means for people who aren't in the area of Ward to play. So again, if you're, maybe you and a couple buddies are kind of been playing, just having fun with it, this is maybe a way for you guys to jump in wherever you are in the United States and definitely join in and start playing some ranked games. So, yeah, with that, I think we'll move on now that I've done the shameless plug. And
I got one correction to make there.
okay,
I wouldn't say area of Ward. Ward is being played competitively all across the United States. So
yep,
I would just say it's a chance to play Ward with people across the United States who you don't normally get to play with competitively against your ranking. Also, I'm playing in it, so come beat me, please.
there you go. Billy's throwing it up there. He wants everyone to come. And again,
It
it's a
sounds like
build
a
your
freebie for whoever wants it.
yeah. And again, it's a build your own deck. So I like I said, I like to promote the build your own deck. So you get to, like I said, build your 30 card deck, and yeah, come and compete, beat Billy. Obviously, I'm gonna be reffing, and I'm gonna be the one running the tournament, so you won't get to play me, but you'll definitely get to hang out with all of us. I mean, probably Tyler will be jumping in, and everybody will be there, so it'll be a good time. But with that,
Yeah, even my ward-wide broadcast friends make tournaments on Saturdays. It's really great.
uh, all right, maybe the next one we'll make a Sunday. We'll get them in there. You're right.
Just a Sunday for the poor, every now and then.
I,
Just to let me pick up the scraps and make it onto the
you
War and
should do
Honor,
the you should do the next one on a Sunday.
mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of the War and Honor, I do want to
I
throw it
would
up
like
here
that.
just in case people aren't aware. We don't usually cover this on the podcast, but they do have a season 3 official rankings of the Ward and Honor, like Tyler was saying, on the Ward website. And so again, if you're uncertain if you will make the cut, you can definitely always check that out. And they should have a list of all the people that are kind of on the cusp, or like, you know what I mean? They have like the whole list of everybody, right, Billy? There should be like a tab that you can press that like opens it all up, and you can see where exactly you rank on there. So see how close you are to getting into the Ward of Honors. But again,
So the only thing they post is um, the War and Honor and top 10, and then also Joe will post everyone's record, but it's just a text file. Um, Whenever he updates that, I also have um, a little Excel sheet I made that tabulates that all into graphical form, so you can actually see like, okay, I am 15 spots away from War and Honor. I got a lot of catching up to do. Or I'm only 5 spots away, and we're all tied, so I just need one more win to get in. So I provide that just because I like data and I like doing that kind of thing. Um, so whenever that gets posted, I'll update that. It's just a screenshot that I post on the Discord on the tournament chat. Um, but yeah, you can always look at what your record is and then also what the official rankings are to see how far away you are from the 10th spot in War and Honor.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. And like I said, I think for a lot of people, if you are looking to get into the competitive scene, I think that's definitely something that you'll be checking in and hoping that they're going to be updating and keeping track. And like I said, it's kind of a fun thing to be like, here, how many games have I won? How many games have I lost? Like, helps you just kind of see where you rank them against everybody else. So speaking of our tournament, just a fun way to be like, oh, I know some of these names. I've played against some of these people, and so I think it's pretty fun in doing that. And so, moving on though. I guess Gen 3, like you said, guys, is kind of like right on the horizon, and so I'm kind of curious. It's been a little while since we've all been on the pod. I'm kind of curious how you guys are feeling about coming in with the remastered cards that have been kind of buffed and updated, and also just Gen 3. I mean, is this like, I'm sure there's some cards that maybe we're looking forward to using now. I mean, one that stands out to me is like Equip Knight. I don't even know where to begin with like how strong I feel like Equip Knight is with just getting two equipments. I think that's like an insane buff on a creature to have for his effect. I mean, obviously I brought up Steam Golem. Steam Golem is kind of crazy. It does like 3 times damage now. Like I don't know. It feels like War to just like it went from like creatures that do like no dice rolls and like are little babies that I like to call them sackables to like now it just feels like there's just like a lot of power in the game. Like, So I guess what's your guys' take with just like the remastered and everything and just kind of these like buffed cards that are kind of coming into the game?
Or you can go first.
I think it's good. I mean, one card actually in particular that I like a lot is I'm a big equipment player, and in Gen 2, obviously, there's a lot of great equipment. One of them that was very lackluster and probably one of the worst legendary. Sorry, it wasn't a very good. The power level could have been better of a card, and I mean, I constantly recommended that it could be changed if they were willing to, do an errata on cards. And obviously, with the big remaster, they wanted to, do a kind of a big balance update as well. The first log going from +1 modifier for each card in the opponent's hand to +1 dice roll and modifier now makes it very, very valuable. I mean, there's cards in the game that can, you know, uh, screw with the opponent's hands, twister, add more cards. I mean, and there's no limit. It doesn't say 8. So if I want to make you draw 16 cards, 16 dice for a turn could be nice. And there's things that you can really start to, get out of hand. I mean, just that card and all in one. You throw off 3 twisters, that's 6 cards. They probably already had 2, 3, 4, maybe. So then it's 10. You get the stats from all in one. Could be 8 to 10 dice. Like you're looking at very, very much value from 2 cards. So
Well, people were just talking about Cosmic Demon, and you're basically getting Cosmic Demon's effect now on a card, right? It's like on top of that, so you could have
Demon
like
Dragon.
Cosmic Demon's effect plus put a first law with Cosmic Demon, and now you're getting like basically double the amount. I think that
Demon Dragon.
or
Demon
yeah,
Dragon.
sorry, what was I saying? Cosmic Demon, yeah, Demon Dragon. I apologize, but Demon Dragon's effect, and I think it's like pretty cool that it's like we're getting a lot of these spell cards where it's like they're almost like just the creature effects that exist in the game, or creature effects that were spell cards. So it's kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, just at if they have 8 cards in hand, which happens a lot in Ward. I mean, most of the time you're kind of waiting to get a full hand before you throw off like a giant combo to do something. But if you have a full combo, I mean, you have the 1+1 8 from the hand from Demon Dragon, and then 8 from the first law. You're looking at a 17/17 30 HP creature, which pretty gross. So
Pretty gross.
Mm-hmm. All right, Billy, where are you at? What's something you're looking at?
Well, I do like a lot of the changes they've made. It looks like the buffs they gave were to cards that no one played. Um, when it's funny because we have finally have justice for one of my favorite original cards. Um, Watcher in the
Justice.
Wall got, in my opinion, the correct adjustment. Finally, uh, so Watcher in the Wall first released in first edition Legacy was look at your opponent's hand and discard a card. Doesn't matter what it is. So what that turned into was just look at their hand, discard their creature, they're waiting to sack, and then that's just a free 100 HP in your opponent's cemetery.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man. But so obviously they said, we don't like kill cards. So instead of the cemetery, we'll say it goes to the bottom of your deck. Well, congratulations. You took Watcher of the Wall, you took it behind the building and shot it in the head and threw it in the dumpster. Garbage was probably the worst legendary. It went from like the one of the best to literally the worst. Um, and with that one change, like bomb your deck, who gives a rip? And so now the correct change is just don't let them throw a creature in the cemetery. So now it is either look at your opponent's hand. Great knowledge, by the way. Take a magic card and throw it to the cemetery, or take a creature and throw it to the bottom of the deck.
Hmm.
That's what it should have been the whole time. They massively overcorrected, and now they reined it back in to a card that is worthy of being legendary, actually playable, and something that is going to make a competitive um, advantage when played correctly. So
Yeah.
I'm a fan of it. That was my suggestion when they were freaking out about it. Uh, or actually, I just said only magic cards you can throw in the cemetery. But I like this change too. Creature bomb deck that works too. You can be a little more versatile with it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm just happy watching the wall is getting love again.
Yeah,
I'll be
it's
playing
kind
with
of
it.
a crazy or like an interesting change because, like you said, for a competitive game of war, it's like just having that ability to discard an important card to your opponent. I think is definitely when you come to those late game scenarios where it's like, all right, these are my last 8 cards or whatever. You draw on out of your deck. Having a card like that to first see what's left in your opponent's hand and also get rid of something that they might need or whatever, even to force them to like negate Watcher in the Wall at the end of the game, I think is just like so much value. So it's like that's definitely going to be a card that I think a lot of people are going to be looking to potentially put in their decks and be like, all right, let me get rid of my opponent's win condition. Let me get rid of these things. My opponent can't just sit there and hold on to these cards for the proper moment, which I think Ward kind of needs. It needed that card, right? There was no other card that just
It
like
did.
discarded cards besides like what's that gnome artillery or whatever. It's like that that
Yeah.
card, which is just like kind of a silly, goofy
And
card anyway. That doesn't isn't
it's also
consistent.
worthy of being a legendary, right? Like, if I can look in your hand, discard a magic card, like, imagine I get it in a scenario where I get to discard your Holy Light. Now you can't use the best card in the game, and it's locked in the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the prime target for Watcher of the Wall. It was
Well,
honestly the prime target when it was playable originally, and then if they didn't have that, you'd pick a creature. Or if they have like, I don't know, a creator, you obviously throw that in the cemetery. But that
right.
shouldn't have never happened. So now we're just targeting magic cards. So you
Mm-hmm.
go after their high value game changing magic cards.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too is there's 3 copies of it too. It's not limited, so it's like now you have 3 options of discarding magic cards, which I think in a 30 card deck, 3 times of getting rid of something like oh yeah, especially with a lot of those
Yeah.
like you said, a lot of those big cards that people like to play. It's like you play a scroll or the combo I see is Sounds from the Grave, and then you just do fire this off, and it's just like your opponent can't respond to it. It just you basically just get to have free reign on like picking whatever out. So it's like I don't know. Well, we'll definitely have to see
Well,
how it gets used.
well, speaking of Sounds from the Grave, now that's the card that they took out back and shot with a shotgun and threw in the dumpster. They obliterated that
Because
card.
what it's
Uh,
only on your turn now that you get all those
It's
effects.
only on your turn. It still lasts for 2 turn cycles, but it's only for your turn. So they just have to wait until their turn to twister it, and then it's gone. So,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, that card is going in my bulk and never being played again. It's not good because I could just Irresistible Love is now on your turn as well. So I don't know. It's only good in the end of the game to before it was only good to end the game with it.
Mm-hmm.
It would give you a 2 turn cycle buffer, and now you have to play it. And if you don't win on your turn when you play it, you just lose because you've
Yeah.
given up so much card advantage. They could do whatever they want. I think they neutered it.
It's fair, but I don't know. I feel like it's the proper way to go about it.
What card?
Like Irresistible Love.
Sounds from the grave.
Yeah, Sounds
Oh,
from the Grave and Irresistible Love. Like Irresistible Love, making it so you get to roll the initial turn that your opponent plays it, I think is great. It's like at least you get a shot to get rid of it, and I think it
Yeah, I
doesn't
don't care
feel
about Irresistible Love. I don't give a rip. It's an uncommon.
okay. Fair
Sounds
enough.
from the Grave is a legendary, and it was already
Yeah,
balanced, and now they just
Balance
it's
is
fine.
definitely hard to say, but I also think I think it was too strong. I'm not exactly sure what did you say was the right change? Did you say?
I
They
don't think we really got
I
there, but I do think. Well, I don't know. I feel like if you keep it the way it is and then take away the discard effect, I think it's still a
I
good
mean, I wouldn't
card. It's not terrible, but
yeah, I would
I wouldn't even
either
mind if
make
it was like a
it
5 or a 6 or something. Like maybe you roll a dice and on your turn, and if you get like a 5 or a 6, then you're allowed to play cards. I don't know. I just think
yeah, I like
it's
that.
almost like it's almost like the Watcher on the Wall thing, where it's like, oh, they made this card that
Overcorrection.
was yeah, overcorrected it, where it's like now it's kind of not even worth running. Where it's like, yeah, maybe they roll a dice and on both turns, and if it's a 5 or 6, they're allowed to play. If it's not, then it's I don't know.
The reason I said it was balanced, Harry, is because if you played it at the wrong time, you lost the game. But if you play it at the right time, you won the game. Um,
I just,
I would
I
probably
just,
I would advocate for instead of 2 turn cycles, just one. I think that
yeah.
would be fine
mm-hmm.
because there needs to be on their turn they can't do anything. But now
Yeah,
it's like the card doesn't exist, and I just played that card and discarded a card for nothing. So
One,
that means I'm not playing that card.
it's weird because when you look at cards like Foggy Night, that's obviously a card that's been very strong in the past. But they can add a card like Atom Bomb. It's an equipped card. It blows up the field. Okay, problem solved. There's not really anything you can do with Silence from the Grave because when something says you can't do it, there's no
Can't do
option.
it.
Like there's no option. So it's like I do think it was too strong. I don't like the suffocating feeling that it gives when it's played against you and you know that it's gonna come more than once. And it's just like, wow, like this literally sucks. It just
Yeah,
creates an
that's
unfun
why
feeling.
but
And I
I
like I mean, it's a dice
I
game. There's a lot of dice rolling. I don't think it should be a one number because I don't know, never happens.
yeah,
But
2 turn cycles with 5 to 6 to break it on your turn, or just 1 turn cycle. That way, it's like okay, I suffer
yeah.
for 1 turn cycle and I'm done. You know?
right. I see what
And
you're saying. I don't know. In
well,
my head, it's
well,
like
here, one more point. Silence from the Grave also with one turn. Most of the time when you're playing Silence from the Grave, you're getting what you need to do when you play it. It's almost like an irresistible love, and the bonus effect is that it gets to your opponent's turn. The second turn is usually just like, get fucked for another turn.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you're not really ever using it for something. So usually, I mean, I think the one turn cycle, I would say even getting rid of the magic discard to turn it into one
mm,
turn cycle is probably like right where it fits good, where it's like you get to play it, you get one turn, it goes back to them, they can't play something, comes back to you. All right, if you have another one, you play it. If you don't, okay. And that doesn't feel nearly as suffocating where you lose one turn. It's where you lose 2 turns. A lot can happen in 2 turns, and like I said, that second
Yeah.
turn usually is just like a ha ha ha, like get fucked kind of feeling,
yeah.
and that sucks.
I
But
Yeah, I guess what I meant about the balance, why I said it was balanced, is because you're giving up a lot of cards to do something, and if you do it too early in the game, you've lost enough card advantage that you probably will lose.
right.
yeah,
That's fair.
been there, done that, man.
That's fair. I do think though it is still like if you have your big combo turn, like let's say you want to play like Visitor and Holy Light and all these cards, it's like I think it still has
Yeah,
value there where it's like it is kind of like I don't know. I think Irresistible Love maybe is just stronger now in that sense, but Silence from the Grave isn't limited, so now you can have more copies of it. But I don't know if you really
What do
need
you
more.
guys
yeah.
think?
But do you
What do
honestly think they're gonna keep Irresistible Love limited if you can
I
No,
just
hope they
blow it
no
up
don't.
way.
I hope
immediately?
they.
No, I really hope they don't.
That was
I
kind
think
of
they should take it
a
off.
tangent I wanted to go on since we brought up Irresistible Love. I kind of think they should put it back to 3 because I don't think it's as
I
problematic as
do
it
think
was.
that one of the funniest things about Irresistible Love in the history of the card that'll always be funniest to me is there's some people that just don't even understand why it's on the limited list because every time they play against it, they roll out of it first turn. And they're like, oh yeah, there's no problem with this card. And I just thought it was funny when I was seen on Discord. One of the newer guys was like, why is this on the limited list? Like, oh,
Great question.
I really don't want to talk to you about that. I have nightmares still. Like.
Yeah. Well, like you
It's
said, especially when you're like, people don't get it either, where they're like, only one. They're like, yeah, this feels silly. But it's like, as soon as you have someone who stacks 3 on the board, and you're just like, well, here we go. We're probably not rolling out of one of these. And you're just
Yeah.
like,
but I mean, Irresistible Love is the greatest lesson in the statistical term where you only remember the outlier
The bad.
because
right.
Yeah.
it meant the most to you. You
Yeah.
never remember, you don't keep track. I rolled out of it 17 games on the first turn, but I remember the one time I was in there for 5.
Yeah.
Banned
Just
the
always ends up
card,
to
you
be in
know?
the
That
tournament too. Like,
that's fair, but
And
this
statistics tell you it doesn't happen like that, but people only remember it. And if the collective only remember the 1 out of 85,000 time, then it's
confirmation
like
bias.
it's confirmation bias. It's like it's the only thing that ever happened. So it got complained to the limited list.
that's
So
fair.
congratulations, Ward community.
Hey,
If you want a card limited, just complain about it, I
hey,
guess.
that's why I had to make the counterpoints about all the ways you could deal with it, and I still stand by it. If people really hate that card that much, even if it becomes limit or back to like 3 and not limited, there's still ways to beat it. Kendo Tiger, there's Hive Lord, there's Creature. I'm just gonna put it out there. A lot of people were just like, I don't want to put those creatures in my deck. Okay, so then don't complain to me about a card that has a counter and you're not willing to just abide by what the rulings of the thing is. So like
No,
I
statistics be darned. I
either
my
way,
feelings are
I go
more than
back. But
facts.
Billy, I'm just saying, I go back to making it back to 3 because there are still counters to be destroying it if you really, really hate it. And it's like we are all saying, I think it's perfectly healthy now. It's like I don't even think it'll have that much problems because again, you're just getting double the amount of chance to roll out of it. So it's like I think
Well,
you'll.
it's like the giant snake incident, you know? It's like the
It's
same
literally the
thing.
giant snake incident.
Mhm.
Like giant snakes seem ridiculous at every other turn. They made it every turn, and now no one plays with it. Guess what's gonna happen
Yeah.
to Irresistible Love? No one's gonna
It's the
play with it
exact
because
same
why
thing.
would I
Mhm.
risk? Why would I risk a good card that's just gonna die immediately? That
Right.
has no value in my deck. I want nothing to do with it.
That's fair. Yeah.
Not necessarily. Like I think it's still good as a, budget silence from the grave where if you do want to play a big combo on your turn, like yeah, it doesn't matter to me that you get to roll for it. But or I don't know, that's the thing though, is when you play it, do they instantly get to roll for it or what?
From what I'm
It's your
getting,
opponent's
it
choice.
says
Yeah.
it says on
Yeah.
every turn
Yeah,
you
I
get
guess
to.
that
So
makes it
even the
that
turn
makes
you
it pretty
play
bad
it.
pretty
Yeah.
bad, but
But either way, it's
I
like
think
I don't
it's
know.
it's a weird thing where I think if it's on your turn when you play it, it should be like at the end of your turn, or maybe you should get a half a turn grace period. But
Just
yeah,
you wish they
whatever.
would have put that in the right. They could have just threw that extra word in at the beginning, at the end, at anywhere. But nope. Don't worry, Tyler. You
Well,
can
it just
do it
never
whenever.
really matters except for when you play the card. Like it just feels bad to
You know
play a
what?
card and then have someone instantly roll for it. But
If they change it to roll for it at the end of each turn, I'm okay with that because then at least it's
yeah,
like, well, good grief. I actually like have a 50-50 shot. Well, actually right now it's a 50-50 shot I could even play the card. But if I wait till the end of the turn, then it's like, okay, so it's probably gonna I probably only get it for my turn, which is fine.
Hmm.
I get use out of it.
that's
I'm
that's
not
always
playing
been
cards I
kind of
don't get use out of.
yeah, that's always been one of the weird things about Ward and how the wording of the card works is, it'll be like once per turn. It's like, oh well, when? Like, oh, anytime. Like that,
Okay.
that's a lot of time. Like that's a lot of options. Well, I mean, after my first card, after combat, after my second card, like at the end of my turn, at the beginning, before I draw, like it's like
Yeah,
who knows?
those
Well,
are always the
the
hard things.
funniest one was Mindsap. The original said when your opponent plays a creature, or at any time, you can equip this card to you can equip this card and it turns as an instant, it turns into infinite, and they negate
Uh,
the creature effect. It's like, okay, so just whatever I want. And now
It's like
that
so
like the
it's a flash
remaster,
card.
yeah,
mhm.
the remaster now says at any time. It's just flat. It's like,
Yeah,
well, duh. It's either when they play it or at any time, which just means at
Mhm.
any time.
But like you said,
yeah.
even that simple like adding of text made it so a lot of people were like, okay, if I don't play this when they're summoned, now I can't just right. It's like, what's the requirement to it? So it's like it still had confusion. So it's
Well,
like,
and
I'm
then you
glad they
run into
changed it.
weird, funny word things like I hear rumors in the wind about Billy, trying to summon Alkanos on enemy turn.
Hey, no. I have reasonable and plausible evidence that I can do that
No,
because it
I
says
believe you.
once per turn cycle, and it does
Yeah.
not specify. Now, of course, it's fixed, but it said once
Yeah.
per turn cycle,
I
you
do
may
believe you.
summon. So
Just like a
once
little bird
the
in the
turn
wind,
cycle
a rumor.
includes my opponent, so why can't I?
Yeah, no, and I agree with you, and that's the odd thing. I mean, obviously, when we obviously try to play in tournaments, we want to make the strongest decks possible, find all these little hidden interactions. It's crazy how something like that, you don't really ever think about it, but then when you're like, why wouldn't that work? And then
Well,
Well, it
and
matters.
now,
It matters because either I do it on your turn or before draw phase, because that reduces my risk of drawing the Alchemist. I could draw
yeah,
something
well,
else.
and now you have cards like Arcturus or whatever, where it's like, all right, now again another card where we're all gonna be like, well, I mean, it said this, it's kind of worded this way, and you're just like, who knows how it's gonna be ruled, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
If it's ruled that it's literally only the base and modifier, no effects, no burn, no nothing, it's still fine because it's like, okay, you can have one of them, and you still got to kill it. So
And it's not like you can't
it
shut
just
off his creature effect, or I don't know. That's the one thing. Like when
no,
people break,
you can't shut it
no,
off.
that's what I
Mind
mean. But
sap
no,
like,
and
but
that's
then
what
like
he's
people bring up
saying.
like Swamp Dragon, or they bring up Cabal War Chief. It's just like, oh my god, this card's crazy, and it's like it's crazy, but all it takes is a one negation of creature effect. It's like, all right, is now he's just a 5/5. Like,
The
yeah,
interesting thing about though is is there any creature effect negation in Gen 3? I don't know. It's been
yeah,
a while since I've looked at
well, there
those sort of
is,
cards.
but a
is
lot of it is gated behind equip cards. So there's a card called Final Form,
gated.
which you have to wait till below half, but it
Austrian.
gives them
Half
+6
HP,
stats, but it negates
yes.
it. And then there's also a card that's like a weaker version that is called Steam Blaster, and you can equip. It's an equip card again,
3/3.
but you can equip it. But there is nothing like Mind Sap where you can like flash equipped it. So it's like things that it's like if they're gonna do it on their turn, like you can't really
Well, and I
do
think
much
that's
for it.
I mean that's kind of the funny thing about us talking about Gen 3 is we've been kind of just mixing in everything automatically where it'll be interesting for the first couple months. I mean, even with that promo with the full moon, he's not really going to unlock his power until after Gen 3
Right.
gets added with the Gen 1 and Gen 2. So, it'll be interesting to see how just all of the Gen 3 cards cuz it's like, oh, these things that we normally would have, maybe we don't have until the mix.
Well,
So,
that's why. Oh.
There's there's one more that is like a technicality. Is Thresher technically undoes the Steam creature effect, which is in a way
yeah,
negating
kind of a
creature
creature
effect. So
negation.
it's
Yeah.
very targeted and niche, but
Yeah,
it
It's
is
the
in Gen
only way
3.
to negate Steam.
that's fair.
Get fricked,
But
Adam.
that's the thing. Like Tyler
He's
was bringing
watching
up,
too.
just like with like the promos, and I'm just gonna make back my argument for the worm. There's no bug spray to counter the worm, and the worm I think in just Gen 3 only will be like this one of the strongest out of the promos to gravitate towards, just with
Yeah,
how its
well,
effect is. But again, just my take with it. But with that, guys, I mean, I think that'll wrap up for episode 48 of WWB. Thanks again for watching and viewing. And with that, we'll see you next week.
Oh,
bye.
see ya.